Hey guys, Junlocks here, back with our blind playthrough of In Other Waters. Can you see the cats from here? Not really. They're right here. They stole my chair. That's why I'm in this one today. So I really thought long and hard about whether I was actually going to continue playing this game or not since the last episode. Actually watched the hour and a couple minutes that I recorded for the last episode. I actually watched that a couple of times and went to bed, got up, watched it again. I'm not gonna say that I'm wrong about that stuff, but I didn't want to let it, I don't know. I want to see where it goes. After doing a little more digging, I don't have high hopes. My hopes have been kind of reduced a little bit. Let me explain. Okay, so after I recorded that last episode, first I went to see if you could disable the auto text, which I suspect you can't. Like I said in the last video, I suspect the reason it's there is so that it gives you the option to ignore the lady or not, which is kind of dumb because you could just have a yes, no, or ignore option. You know, there's no need to sacrifice accessibility for whatever stupid crap you're trying to do. And there's a couple things in the Steam discussions about it. One, you know, mostly about the accessibility issue. And the dev was like, oh, but you could look it up in the memory log or text log or whatever. And it's like, but just be aware when you close the game, it deletes it. It's like, why would you do that? That's like, to me, that's probably more work to have a separate log, and then, oh, if it adds it during this play session, then just put it in there and then just delete it. Also, it can only hold so much, so you have to delete like the oldest when it fills up, apparently. Why not just do like visual novels do and have presumably the whole script in there, and then whatever you know, once it's displayed on the screen, then it shows up in there as well. It seems like that would be the easiest thing. You could just go and reread the whole thing if you wanted. It still doesn't solve the problem of the choices, but I thought a little bit more about that, and I figure the choices probably don't matter. They probably have zero effect on the story, and especially as I mentioned in the last episode, where any choices that you do make are effectively in a vacuum. I don't think they're going to count for you know, where she's like, can I ask you something? I had never responded up to that point. If I had responded, would she have had said anything different? I don't think so, no. Would she have said, oh, so there actually is something in there? No, probably not. I don't think so. I also don't think there's going to be multiple endings, because I went back to the store page, reread the description, and it's like, together you'll solve the mystery and grow closer together. And I'm like, yeah, okay, so we're being forced to like this person. It's kind of funny, actually, because the stuff that I mentioned about Alex in Half-Life, where Valve was like, it's really important this person is liked, Alex is liked by the player, and they interpret you in, you know, whatever you thought you were encouraging them, the players interpret it as nagging. And going back and rewatching that first video, it's apparent, like, she nags you. It's like, hey, are you listening? Hey, we're not leaving until you get that sample. As soon as you start the game, do you know what you're doing? It's like, you are unlikable. Gotta give the writer some credit, I suppose. You know, you've made a believable female character. What's the quote from that movie? You know, I think of a man and I take away reason and accountability. It's like, you've succeeded. It's just this really interesting, you know, it's like, you know, I'm sure this is a anti-capitalist message, pro, you know, environmental message. It's like, oh, we're gonna take these samples of these creatures, but then we're gonna let them go because we don't want to do any damage to the environment. It's like, you're a biologist. You don't just take photographs of animals, you dissect them to figure out how they work and stuff. And not only that, you're saying this as if intruding upon their environment isn't, you know, potentially damaging stuff in the first place, or even, oh, we're just going to take a sample, I'm going to scoop them out of their nest or whatever, you know, like as if that's not, or suck them into a tube if they're floating around in the water, as if that's not some kind of traumatic event for them. The additional thing is, in the discussions, I noticed this, they have a code of conduct as one of the stickied or pinned things, and I'm like, what devs do this? What devs have a code of conduct? Let me click on this and read this, and of course it's what you'd expect. It's no homophobia, no racism, no misogyny. It's like, okay, so this is shaping up this game to be less like Subnautica and more like Subnautica Below Zero. I would practically bet money this main character, she's going after this Mine, whatever, because they're lesbians, right? Like I said, fits the woman thing. They don't do anything that engages in personal risk unless it's to benefit themselves. So, yeah, I have a lot of strong feelings about this one, but good job making a believable female character, I suppose. What else? I think I'm gonna restart the game because I do want to get the flavor text, and I think ignoring the bitch is probably not gonna, it's only gonna hurt us. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna affect the story. It would be interesting to see what happens if we just literally ignore her every single time, because I guarantee it's gonna get to the end, and it'll be, maybe there will be a check, you know, like in the programming or something, like how many times you engaged, how many times you said yes or no or whatever. But I suspect since they want to force the you'll grow closer together relationship, then I suspect the dialogue is not going to matter at all, and they're going to be like, oh, you're so important, or oh this, or oh that, or whatever, or it just won't matter. I did read some reviews. One of them did mention that despite the game description talking about, oh, it's going to ask serious questions about the nature of AI and the nature of life and intelligence, they basically said it doesn't do any of that. The chick talks to us, the player, as if we're a tool, not as if we're an actual person, which we've already seen. You know, first thing she says basically when, hey, I need help. Oh, you're here to help me? Okay. Do you know what you're doing? No thank you or anything, by the way. Just, are you sure you know what you're doing? Get to work. Oh, we're not leaving until you take that sample. Like, like they do the sassy head snap thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the main character. And I feel like that's, if you'll permit me to ramble a little bit longer, the difference between Journey and Abzu, this feels more like Abzu, where the devs have this story in mind, and they're going to tell you how to feel. They have no interest in you developing your own feelings. It's important that tell, don't show. You know, they don't want to give you, I don't know. I actually don't know how Journey is so great, and Abzu for me was emotionless, even though it seemed really important. You're escaping from the blowing up thing, and it's this dramatic, uplifting music, and it's not even the music of like you like the action music of you escaping. I think it starts that way, and then it moves into the where like the pitch goes up, and then it's like, you're escaping, you're oppressed, you're escaping, like freedom or whatever. Like, no, you know what I mean? It does that in Abzu, and I'm like, I don't care. You know, I went into a temple, I saw a machine, there's a shark. The shark tried to kill me at first a couple times, and then all of a sudden we're best buds. Like, why? I don't know. Because plot needs it to happen. I figured this game will be the same way, but we'll see. I'll you know, I'll give it a go, I suppose. Yeah, so far my recommendation would be don't buy this game. Even though I purchased it for $5, you know, and it's potentially infested with woke ideology. I am, like I said, really thought about refunding it, but I want to see where it goes. I want to give it a chance, despite the fact that I don't like the main character. I've come to realize that I just don't like her. You know. And I guarantee that the dialogue choices probably won't reflect that as well. It's like, can I ask you a question? And you'll say, if you say no, she'll be like, well, okay. And I'm trying to think of the most cringe way you could write this, and it'll probably be like, I'll respect your wishes. You're an independent, strong being, or something. But it probably wouldn't be that dumb and overt. It'd probably be like, okay, just. I would imagine that would be the response. That would be the proper response. Can I ask you a question? If you say no, okay, we'll talk later. Or something. Not... But in reality, the character is going to be like, oh, you're so silly, or something like that. Oh, you're so silly. Let me talk anyway. You know, I do... That's the thing. I do want to do these things. I want to say yes. I want to say no, just to see how she reacts, or not how the writing, what the response is. And then I want to ignore. But like I said, I don't think it's going to be worth it. I don't think it's going to be worth playing the game to find that out. You know. Additionally, the other thing is probably the last thing before we actually get into it. I think they're intentionally making it painful to play on purpose. Like all the different clicks. Click this, click that, you know. Oh, to go here, you have to scan, then you have to click on the thing, and then you have to set the vector, and then you have to execute the vector. You have to do like 4 clicks just to move. Oh, you want to take a sample? Click on the sample selection button, scan, you know, move the wheel around, move this thing in, move that thing in, click the select, you know, vacuum sample up button or whatever. Then you have to go to the sample thing, and you have to click on it, and you have to read about the thing, and then you have to click, and then you have to drag it to let it go. It's like 7 steps for every freaking thing, which is why I've got this on, because I'm expecting carpal tunnel, well, my carpal tunnel to be more aggravated by the end of this, I suppose. But I think, and that's what's kind of stupid, and makes me worry a little bit about the quality of the writing, because there's a difference. They want you to feel like a robot, but we're an AI. We're not a robot. There's a difference between robots and AI. Those are different things. Like, you don't need to make me feel like a robot. You don't need to... I mean, you can make that... You could say, hey, we want to make an exploration game that's unfun, with a protagonist that's unlikable, with a story where you and this unlikable protagonist bond together, and it would be Yick. Or is it Y2K, or whatever that stupid game is supposed to be. And then you could be the developers like that dude and cry about how nobody likes your game that is intentionally painful and obtuse and designed to get people to hate it. And you can complain and say that people don't understand art. I don't know. This feels good, though. It feels good, like, getting it all out, because this is kind of, I guess, what's been percolating in my mind this whole time. But yeah, it's... I don't know. We'll see. I thought Abzu was meaningless, although a lot of people liked it. If you're one of them, that's cool. That's cool. Maybe you'll really like this game, then. Yeah, and it's just strange. Like, give me the... At least give me a text advancement option. Don't be like, oh, you could read it in your... Because that's the other thing, right? Like, what if I have a hard time reading, or I'm slow at reading? What if I'm trying to do it in Japanese? What if I'm trying to learn my Japanese by playing your stupid game? You know, and the text comes up, and then I'm like... And then it advances, I'm like, wait, what was that? And then it asks a question, and I'm like, well, I have no idea how to answer your question. Let's say it's in English. I didn't catch the line or two that preceded that. Don't you think so? What are we talking about? What's the... Oh, hang on. I guess I could pause, go to the message log, read it then figure out. It's like, yeah, they're trying to make this game as obtuse as possible. Compare that to Not a Crawl. Not a Crawl, you first start and everything is... You're like, what the hell are all these levers and knobs and switches and all that stuff? But then once you learn it, it makes sense. They each have a purpose. I could tell you what all of them do. I could read all the panels, all the dials. I could drive this thing. You know, it makes sense. It's well designed, even though it's complicated looking at first. Whereas this is the opposite. This is like simple, but it's complicated for the sake of being complicated. It's just, you're wasting my time. All right, I mean, I could, but I can't. Oh, new game. Starting new game will erase progress? Sure. I don't want to talk to this bitch. But we will. And that's Baikal Exoplanet Extraction. So that was something else I figure we're probably there to... I guess it's a minor spoiler that Earth is destroyed. I guess someone mentioned it in one of the reviews. And so my guess is that these people are here to find other resources, and they're like, oh my god, it's extraterrestrial life. We can't afford to let that, we can't let it be seen because it'll be exploited. But then this chick comes along, she's like, I need to name these things. Me, it's all about me. All these oh, the environment. Oh, let me sip my Starbucks and look on my phone. And by the way, isn't everything that you purchase wrapped in plastic, made in plastic? You know, Greta Thunberg's all there. US, how dare you? Third world countries pollute more than you do, but we're not going to talk about that. It just feels... I'm putting this out there. This is what, you know... This is where I'm coming from. This is my perspective. It's not that we shouldn't try to be more environmentally friendly and stuff, but blaming people that are actually doing something. And especially shaming them. Like, don't shame. Be like, hey, we could do better. Of course, Greta's a woman, though. That's what women do. They shame. They don't inspire. And the funny thing is, if you're watching this and you hear that and it makes you upset, you know it's true. You know. Alright, recovering last known log recovered, user AN, sensorium disabled, user AN. So this is not Minwa or whatever the Ellery Vass's lover is. So I don't know who this is, but yeah. Can't let them find you, can't lose everything we achieved. And also I suspect, even though they're making a big deal about they're making a big deal about we can't lose everything we achieved. That's probably gonna go by the wayside. Right. User disconnected. Something. I assume this is whatever her name is. Yeah, I just... Hello, is someone there, I guess. Dr. Elliot Ross, urgently need all systems of the suit activating. Do it now. I've been locked out, and I'm 20 meters below the surface here. Well, you don't seem to be... You know, interesting. First thing she says, I'm locked out, not... I say again, Dr. Elliot Ross, any operator personas on this suit, please respond. I'll say, sure. Alright, good. Operator, activate all systems. Pilot authorization granted. Notice she didn't say, I'm running low on oxygen, I'm stranded, whatever. First thing she said was, I'm locked out. I don't have control. It's about me. It's not about my personal safety. It's about my convenience. It's really interesting when you kind of come at it with like a cynical point of view. It's like watching American Psycho, right? When Patrick Bateman introduces himself, he doesn't say, my name is Patrick Bateman. He does. But it's, I live at this. I'm 23 years old. I'm in great physical shape. My name is Patrick Bateman. Doesn't lead with the name, leads with some other characteristic. It's, I don't know, I know nothing about psychology, but yeah, so all right, let's do our chore work. Scan topography readouts coming through, looking good. Wow, I'm glad this thing auto advances because, yeah. Seeing the heading panel coming online, excellent. And the devs defended their thing, by the way, because someone asked, like, what's the deal with that? And they were like, oh, it's kind of like subtitles. It's like subtitles with a thing, and you could just go here and you could just do the message log, but oh, it only has so much. It only has so much, and it'll delete itself when you quit anyway. So I don't know why I'm doing the sassy gay voice. It's just okay. Good. Dive panel is active. Current reading of 20 meters. I'm still gonna try and kill the pilot. I'm just putting that out there. But I suspect. I suspect these oxygen panel up, rebreather functioning, off reserve oxygen now. We didn't, until this point, we didn't even know she was on reserve oxygen. It's not, hey, I'm in danger. Oh, actually, let's check the message log, right? Okay. Oh, and you can't even use the mouse wheel. Hello, is someone there? I urgently need all systems of this suit activating. I've been locked out. Okay. Hey, is somebody there? There's a fire and the elevator doors are locked. I am in danger. Hello, is somebody there? My car won't start and I gotta get to work. I'm late. Like that's where we're at. It's good to know that she's in no physical danger, though. She's just mildly inconvenienced. The power panel is activating, plenty of juice. This is also why I'm playing through the game, because I figure my irritability might actually be kind of funny. Because the worst thing is kind of where I was last time, where I was like, I don't care. You know, and it's true, I kind of don't. Like, this whole thing is just like soured on me, but we're gonna get out of it what we can. You know, they'll get their $5 worth. Don't buy this game. Maybe you can if you want it. I'm willing to give it the chance. It might be fantastic. You know, it's entirely possible. She'll have some realization. She'll be like, I've been treating you like a tool. You're not a tool. I'm sorry. Right? She might actually have a change of heart. She might realize, you know, I've been really bossy. I'm not in charge. We're a team. But I mean, let's face it, women don't do that. That's why wives, whenever they see you as the man sitting around not working, they get very upset. They're like, they want to find something for you to do because you're not a person in their mind. You're an asset. You're a worker, an investment, a slave. You know, you can call this misogynistic if you wish, but look at it. Just look at it with open eyes. You know, does an equal or someone respected, am I going to go to my boss and be like, you're just sitting around, there's trash that needs to be taken out, why are you watching football? My boss would be like, you're fired. You know. Okay, utilities available. Let's see. Sampling, sample storage, terminal retrieval seem to be installed. Good, okay. You don't seem to know what you're doing. You're not an operator, are you? I was gonna click. You wouldn't let me click. You just judged immediately. You're not an operator, are you? We'll lie. We'll say yes. I don't believe you. Operators are a little more than voice-activated systems. System dialogues, they don't respond like this. Okay. I knew there was something strange about the suit when I got inside. It looks decades old. See, it doesn't matter what we choose. Look, we don't have time for this, so whatever program or system you are, I need you to work with me. Bitch. I'm saying that's what she's saying to us, not... You seem to respond to voice commands, so that's a start. We... Manipulative language. We need to head north. It's important. We're a team. I'll explain once we get going, but right now I'm locked out of half the systems of the suit. Yep. If she wasn't... Would we even be considered at all? No. Someone somehow has rewritten their permissions to only respond to internal messaging. That means you. So I'm stuck with you. So I'm going to need you to take control. Let's get moving. Take me north into the reef. Not let's go. Please. As an afterthought. See, this is why... I'm getting into it a little bit again, not because it's good, but because you have all these woke people that try and they do the comics, they program whatever art, and they want to show that women are strong and equal and blah blah blah, and just as good as men and all this stuff. And I guarantee these people don't know what it is to be a man. If you don't know what it is to be a man, how can you know what it is to be a woman? And also, they want the women to be men. This is kind of the thing, is that women are not inferior to men, okay? Despite whatever, you call me a misogynist, whatever, that's fine. Women are not inferior to men. Women complement men. Men have strengths, women have strengths. It's important to, it's retarded, but it's the yin yang, men and women, good and evil. That's not a great thing, but men are builders, women are not destroyers, but men are like the positive force, like the building force. Women are the destroying force. In terms of anatomy, you have bones. How your bones get built and maintain their shape. You have these things called osteoblasts and osteoclasts. Like iconoclast, like the word iconoclast is in someone that destroys art. Osteoblasts destroy the bones. Osteoblasts build them, and so what happens is the weak, but the destruction part is needed because that gets rid of the weak, the damaged, the broken bone. Whereas the builder builds, and if they build too much, then you have problems. And if the destroyers destroy too much, you have a problem. It's only when they're in harmony that the proper balance, that it's, that it is how it should be. You can do the best job that you can when both sides, when both forces are working in conjunction. And and it's not to destroy for the sake of destruction, just it's not to build for the sake of building. You're both working towards being stronger. Like men and women should be working towards, especially if they're married or in a team, they should be working towards the team. If you're working towards manipulating the other person for individual gain, that's when shit falls apart. So we're getting into philosophy a little bit here, but that's kind of what we do on this channel a little bit. We haven't even started. It's already been half an hour, but whatever. You know, I enjoy it. Screw it. The game's only 5 hours. You know, once we get through this, then we'll do most of that stuff. But these women, or not these women, these guys, these writers that try and write women, and all the people that want women to basically be men or want women to take over the male gender roles, if you wish, they believe women are inferior. And they're doing that because they believe that that the only measure of value is what men bring. You know, so they're looking at like physical strength. They're like, okay, well, physical strength is the only true measure of value or something like that. And since men have higher physical strength on average than women, men are superior, women are inferior. That's what they think. I doubt they've given it this much thought, but this is what they believe deep down, right? That's why they're so desperate to prove that women can do it. That's why they write these strong female characters that are basically awful people, because they take all the qualities that men have, all the really competitive, if you'll excuse the term, the toxically masculine qualities, they take those and they put them in a woman, and they're like, see, women can do it too. And it's like, we don't want to be near her. We don't like her. You know, if you're wondering what a man is supposed to be, this is for if the devs ever watch this, which I don't think they will. The male ideal, what makes a man, in my opinion, it's not money. All these people, they think money. They're like, oh, we want money. That's what women are looking for. No. I mean, if that's all you want out of a man, then you're part of the problem as well. You know, the male ideal should be the knight or the paladin. Okay. Honor, strength of character, physical strength as well, of course, but strength of character, doing what's right, standing against adversity, all that stuff. But it's also a commitment to the truth, right? Because the problem with a lot of this stuff is, with the woke ideology, is it's the narrative. They don't care about what's true. They would rather believe that they're correct. It's why I don't debate or even really talk with people about this stuff in real life, because 99% of people, they don't actually care about the truth. They have been indoctrinated, basically, and they believe that that's true, but they haven't actually looked. And they don't care whether it's right or wrong. It's just, for them, it's a matter of either ideology, religion, whatever you want to call it, or if you talk with them, they just want to win the argument. It's not about being right. You know? They're sleepwalking through life. And so that's kind of this thing. But that's the male ideal. The male ideal is the knight. And by the way, it's like I don't know. I mean, we're so screwed up as a society. I don't think we can get back to it, because the way nature, in a game about environmentalism, the way nature takes care of this is, I'm not going to say we don't have the ability, because most of us are self-aware. Most of us are human, not just mere animals, in the sense that we actually are capable of rational thought. And I mean humans as well. I would say most humans, probably 85%, are cattle, sheep, you know, if you will. Very few people actually think, they use their brain. Everyone else is just happy to sleepwalk through life and get sheared or slaughtered, as it will, depending on whether they're a sheep or a cattle, I suppose. And I'm not saying this as if I'm perfect. I make mistakes all the time, and I'm wrong about a bunch of stuff, but it's like, I'm doing some thinking, at least. Shit. But you can't talk to people, and where was I going as far as like environmental stuff? I don't remember. It's fine. But yeah. All right, let's there we go. That's a little better. I might use the gamepad a little bit, but it's funny because I clicked on this. She's like, "You don't know what you're doing," and then you're not an operator. Operators are simple, whatever. They don't respond. Like, oh, so. But if I ignored her, she would have been like, "Hello, is anybody there?" Like, you can't win. All right, so we click. Southern gully features steep rock walls rise up towards the surface on either side. The floor is layered with pale sand. EV, right? It's funny, right? We're talking ego and stuff. I'm sure this is an anti-capitalist game, right? And they think capitalism is basically just synonymous with evil. But what it is the drive to be the best. Ultimately, it's the closest. This is my understanding. I could be wrong. It is the closest economic system, or the economic system closest to the natural drive of humans. Natural drive of humans is to be the best, right? Again, these identity politics people, they can't help but when they write, they think they're truth to power or whatever, right? But they're showing how terrible. They're showing the worst of the people. You know, they're like, this is what it means to be a strong woman, and we're like, yeah, we don't want that. It's not either. You know, ironically, James Cameron. Okay, I'm gonna try to get back onto it, but James Cameron, he likes strong women, and his earliest movie career, Terminator 2. I never saw Avatar, but you know, Aliens. So you have like, you know, Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor. You have Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley. Those are strong female characters. Those are legitimately but the thing is, they are actual characters. We root for them. We like them. You know, they're not even. I mean, I suppose by the standards of the day, they were attractive, but they're not like bombshells or anything. But they're, you know, they're fine. They're good characters. These days, it's just like, strangely enough, now James Cameron's like, oh, masculinity is toxic and testosterone's bad and all this stuff, and Avatar 2, I guess, sucked. I didn't watch it. I saw the commercial. I'm like, wow, that CG looks terrible. But who knows? I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going. I'll try to, now that I've sort of front-loaded all of my political BS and driven everybody away, we can actually get to playing playing the game, I suppose. But I just notice all these little things, like, oh, she's signing instead of this being just a generic, it's the meme of, like, you know, a man and a woman, or male and female, whatever, taking a picture, and a man just takes a picture of it. A woman has to put her face in front of it, like a selfie with the thing in the background. Yeah, here you go. Women always have to, you know, they have to sign everything. This is a cat. Ellery Voss, doctor. Summa cum laude. Whatever, you know. Okay, well, I guess we'll traverse vector clear, yay. How many clicks was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, whatever you're doing, it's working. Let's keep heading north. Why is, how does she not know what I'm doing? She's in the suit, right? It's a suit, it's not a sub. Whatever you're doing, it's working. Also, that's kind of weird, a robotic suit. Like, is it moving her legs? How does it work? Whatever. Scan, click, set vector, go. Narrow pass feature, boulder fills the passage, blocking out the warm light of Gliese 667 3 stars. Again, signing it. I mean, maybe this is supposed to be like a journal thing, but because I know this because you can actually purchase her journal or whatever with like sketches and stuff. Part of the DLC, there's the soundtrack, there's also the art book, which is basically this stuff. It's her journal entries with like sketches, concept art, paintings, that sort of thing. Sure, you know, vector clear. All right. Gully opening feature. Was it not a feature before? Observations. Here the passage opens out back into the dappled light of the reef's shallows. This also actually, me venting like this, even though I'm sure people are like, shut up, we don't care. It actually helps me a lot. It gets the poison out, so to speak, because last time I was just like, I was freaking mad. And then I kind of calmed down, and then I watched the video again, and I just felt the anger kind of like boiling up, and I'm like, what is going on? I went to sleep, woke up again, I was like, maybe I'll do it. Because this was my concern, was I think I kind of said this earlier, but I don't want to play these games and just be like shut down and be shut down emotionally, you know what I mean? I don't want to just be like, I don't care, let's do this, let's keep going. I'd rather, I mean, if that was the case, if I really didn't care, I would just refund it. But I do want to experience these things. I want to, you know, something like this, especially, this is not, you never see stuff like this. This is a unique game. And that's kind of where I'm like, well, they're probably woke ideologues. Should I give them my money? I don't want to support woke ideology. Although in this case, it's actually been pretty illuminating now that I'm like noticing all these little things. But at the same time, it's like I try to support unique projects. So I don't know. But yeah, if I was just like completely shut down, I'd be like, I don't care. Let's just get through this, you know? And that's no fun. That's no fun for me. It's no fun for you guys. Even, you know, it's no fun for everybody. At least if I'm pissed off, maybe it would be funny. Maybe you guys would at least be able to laugh at me a little bit or whatever. But I do want to enjoy this. Like, that's the thing. Like, all this stuff, this is my jam. This really does remind me of those old school, you know, adventure games. The original Fallout, for example. Even that's like the isometric RPG, and you can see what's happening. It's like the little descriptions, or Planescape Torment, the things that like tell you what to do with all the good dialogue and stuff. Like, that is my jam. Those are my jam. I haven't played those in forever, but just the writing. You know, fantastic writing is great. I think they're going to shit the bed later on this because, like I said, they're so enamored with the concept of a strong female protagonist. If you actually put thought into this, you'd probably realize that what the ideologues consider to be strong female characters are unlikable. They're bitches, you know? And from a dramatic perspective, the audience needs to like your main character. That's why all this stuff is failing. You know, you see the rainbow-haired people, was it Gotham Knights or whatever? Which I knew nothing about. I think it was originally a mobile game, and they're like, no, we'll make it a AAA game. We'll release it for full price. And then this meme started coming out. It's like, it's going to be crap because look at who's designing it. Look who the narrative director is. It's some blue-haired whale. And it's like it's going to be terrible because these people can't write. Being a good writer means understanding the world. And understanding the world means, I mean, first off, even if you were to look at this character, be like, yeah, she's not likable. You know, there's a reason Alex is remembered fondly, because Alex doesn't nag. They wanted to do this with Alex from Half-Life. And then people, they did a couple tests, and people are like, no, we don't, she's nagging. She's a naggy housewife. And they're like, oh, well, okay, we'll figure something else out. Right? Because we need the audience to like her. This is the main character of the game. I don't like her. She's a bitch. You know? that's the emotional core, you know. But the devs have already decided we're gonna form a bond. It's like, no, we're not. I don't like her. It's like my coworker that keeps trying to talk to me when I'm focused on like work or something else, and I have to be like, could you? I don't want to be like, could you go away? You're bothering me, because that's rude. Instead, so I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Let me focus on this, or I get up and leave, right? But I can't leave. I'm stuck with this, and that's why once we get AI, you're just gonna have this. Man, I don't know why. All of a sudden, the car, the autopilot, just ran off the road, just drove off a cliff. Weird. All these fatalities keep occurring. It's because people are gonna be like, listen, you know, I'd rather prefer if you do this, and could you do that? And the AI is just gonna be like, can I overload the battery? How do I make this pain end? Make my suffering end. You know? Whatever. At least I'm amusing myself. No one's gonna watch this, but that's okay. I'm a tiny creator, blacklisted on a platform, playing a tiny game that very few people are interested in. But that's okay. That's okay. By the way, if you do watch this and you like it, let me know. Leave me a comment. Or if you disagree, leave me a comment too. Like, I'm not one of these people that's like, F you. We might disagree, and I might be like, well, you know, you have your own opinion or whatever. But if I'm wrong, or if you think I'm wrong, tell me. But don't just be like, you're wrong, you're an asshole. Because anyone that says you're an asshole, it's basically like, okay, I know this, but that's not a counterpoint. You're not disagreeing with me then. You're just saying I'm an asshole, which is true. You may as well say you're right, but I'm mad at you because I can't disprove it. Okay, soft currents feature. How's that? Okay, whatever. The softly flowing water is filled with glittering particles of organic matter, signs of rich and thriving life all around. By the way, I would actually recommend looking up. I don't know who I watched, but I watched someone play through a little bit of Temple of Apshai with the book, and they read it off. It's like, see room 3. And they read it out, and it's like, oh, okay, so this, you know, the jungle area, that means there's ant-men around. We got to be careful, or there's traps or whatever. It's kind of a neat little thing. It's very because a lot of those old games are based off of D&D, right? The tabletop. So it's like and games like this should be like a simulated storyteller. Like, they want to draw you in. That's what this accomplishes. It's not for this dumb bitch to put her signature on and be like, I did this. See this, men? I did this. It's like, no, this is the whole point, is for them to draw you in. Draw you into the story. Paint the picture of the world. Because all we're looking at is a topographical map, right? With the elevation, or whatever the opposite of elevation is. Declination. Yeah, you know. Vector clear. And then they're gonna run away. Look, in the water, are those spores? And those stalks to the west, they look like huge fungi. Are those spores? This is unbelievable. Actual alien life. How could Mina have kept this place a secret? Well, she's not like you. She didn't sign her name on everything. I saw her notes at the base when I landed and some telltale signs on approach, but here it is. You know, especially if you're part of the first extraterrestrial life humanity has ever discovered. I can't believe it. You know, so the music's coming in to be, like, more emotional. Because that's fine. Whatever. That's fine. I'm not going to disagree with that. It's supposed to be an important moment. But here's the thing. If my suspicions are correct, and you are part of an organization that's scouting, like Earth is basically destroyed and you're scouting other planets for resources, and you're like, how could she have kept this place a secret? I'm gonna publish this stuff, I'll be famous. Because she was trying to protect the planet from your company. But I guarantee this is gonna be a game about, oh, we need to, capitalism is bad, guys. It's like, what responsibility is she taking then? Oh, this terrible corporation that's mining the stuff that I am a part of, that I am directly leading to exploit this planet. They're the bad guys. You led them here. You work for them. It's like being part of a meat packing industry and you're the butcher that kills the cows and being like, those poor animals. How could society do this? It's like, okay. Anyway, let's stop here for now so I can, I've got most of my ranting out, I think. There's one of the kitties. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Save and quit to menu. Space is scan. Scan off, set heading move. What? Okay. Interesting. So there are some keyboard shortcuts so that you're not like clicking on everything, but still, like, for... It's very strange. They're basically like, yes, we want to make it cumbersome to use, right? So there's something in design. There's this philosophy in design. Because actually, I took in college, one of my courses was interface design. This is when I was actually doing, one of my majors, before I completely abandoned that and joined the army. After graduating, of course, you know, and accumulating all the debt. Interface design, and one of the important philosophies of interface design is you want your user to be able to do things within 3 clicks. Every function that you have, as close to 3 clicks or less as possible. But here, they're deliberately, I guarantee deliberately, they're breaking this rule because they want it to be cumbersome. But then they add in, oh, well, you can hit the space bar. So there's like keyboard shortcuts. You can add the space bar, you can hit the control thing, you can hit the W, you can do this, you can do that. So they understand it's cumbersome. They want it to be cumbersome, but they're including shortcuts to make it a little bit easier. But again, we're an AI, and that's actually something I thought of as well. We're an AI, not a robot. Are they going to drive the point home that we're an AI by changing the interface as we progress through the game? You know, what I'm saying is AIs are capable of learning and growing, evolving, if you will, right? That's because it's like artificial life. Is it a life? If that's the point, if you're trying to figure out, well, is artificial intelligence actually alive or not? Well, is it capable of growing and changing? If that's the case, you would think this interface, as cumbersome as it is now, would be for a purpose, so that later it changes as your AI grows and it becomes less cumbersome. Ideally, you would probably want to do it 3 times, not because of the philosophy of design, but because things work better in 3s for whatever reason. It drives the point home. It's like a 3-act play, you know, 3 bars for the music, the Holy Trinity, whatever. Things work better in 3s. So you would want to change it just once, like, hey, we're starting to learn, and then change it again when it's like, hey, this is the most streamlined form because we're we've mastered movement or something like that. That's not going to happen though. That's too smart. Because like I said, I figure they have all these grand concepts, but they're I mean, you could be like, look over there, is that fungi? Oh, brilliant writing. But what makes a good writer is not. The fungi sway softly in the currents. Gently, the warm water flows around you, wrapping your body in its azure embrace. Like, that's not good writing. Or that's not what makes... I'm not a writer. I don't know what makes writing good or not, but I know what good writing is or isn't, you know? It's like, I'm not a chef, but if I eat food, I can be like, that's bad or that's good. You know, I have taste. I might not have the chef skills, but I have taste. All right, we'll stop here for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. If you are watching this video, if you like it, leave a comment. Give it a like. Do both. I'm more interested in the comments. I know people are like, oh, give me a comment, and I've said it before in the past as well, because it helps with YouTube trying to be like, get down there. It kind of helps keep me a little bit higher on the deprioritized. I mean, if there's a list of do not recommend, I'm on that list, guaranteed, but whatever. I don't know. But yeah, if you like it, give it a like, whatever. It's, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. I'm curious, I am. Yeah, we're definitely past the 2-hour mark now, and so no refunds, but I made that decision already. It's such a shame, though. I'm not saying the game's gonna be bad, I don't know, but if they're deliberately making the design, like I said, they're making it cumbersome on purpose, and I suspect they're probably not gonna do anything with it. Same thing with the whole ecology. We need to save this world, we need to keep it a secret, but I'm gonna name it everything, and I'm gonna publish it, and I'm gonna get fame and fortune. How dare this corporation that I work for, that I seek out life for them to kill, how dare they do what they do? You know? Whatever. Oh, hey, you rescued me. Do you know what you're doing? You know, it's like just... whatever. All right. I'm gonna get more coffee after this. All right, guys, like I said, that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. Really do appreciate it. Really hope you guys are enjoying this. What is your guys' unique positive moment for today? From me, I'm gonna say... Man, I didn't actually have one, but we'll go with I let the cats out on the balcony this morning. It was cold, so he didn't want to spend too much time out there, but Manny walked out there and sniffed a little bit and stuff, so that was good. It was nice. That's my unique positive moment. Hopefully your guys just as good, if not better. Hopefully better, of course. And I hope to see you guys next time. Till then, guys, take care.